So ready, set, do 2 minutes. I like this strategy. I think it's really powerful. The whole idea behind this one is how can you trick yourself into starting something you really don't feel like starting? And really, often the best way to trick yourself into starting something you don't want to start is by saying, fine, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I may not do the whole thing, but I'm going to just do 2 minutes worth. And so this guides your child to think about some of the things they have to do, and then think about, well, what's just a 2-minute intro task to it? If I may or may not finish the whole thing in that sitting, but how can I sit down and feel a little bit of accomplishment just in a 2-minute period? It guides them to list the activity or assignment and then describe the 2-minute task. For example, a history essay. I don't know about you, Beth, but I cannot tell you how often a kid needs to write an essay and they'll tell me like, well, my essay's due, at the end of the week, and it's kind of about this, that, or the other. And then I start asking questions and I'm like, I start to realize like they haven't actually even read the whole prompt or looked at the whole rubric or like all of that, right? And you're like, well, why don't we just start with a 2-minute task where you just read the prompt and get a clear idea of the directions, like easy, right there, done. And it gives, once a student plans to do that and they do it, it gives them a sense of accomplishment, and then they're more likely to keep going later. So, and it could be something as simple as like for math, like that one is math 2.5, print the worksheet. So often just printing the document, printing the document is such a simple task, and it gives a sense of movement on something, and it keeps kids from doing it. So if they can just do a 2-minute task, it can be a really good way to get going.
And this is great for all of us adults too, sometimes, right?
Oh.
Sometimes it's just hard to get started. And
Yeah.
I don't even care what it is, but sometimes it's hard to start. But once you start, then the moment you get, that is a brain hack. You kind of get your brain moving in the right direction. But
it's the typical, like, I'm just gonna put the dishes in the dishwasher, and the next thing you know, the whole kitchen is clean because you're like, well, whatever, I put the dishes in the dishwasher, now I'm gonna wipe down the counter, now I'm gonna,
Well, your kitchen is cleaner than mine, Kelly. This is great though. This actually brings me back full circle to the kickoff phrase, which is another strategy we talked about previously. Sometimes if you just have that phrase of not just do it, but just start it, this is
So
a
true.
way to just start it. And once you just start it, you might once again get that little dopamine release. And that's what we want, because you want your brain to think, oh, that wasn't so hard. I got this. That's a great strategy.
And I don't mean to just keep piling on, but like so often we say to our kids, like, did you finish your homework? And a lot of times what we really should be saying to them is, did you start your homework? Because once they start, they'll get it done. It's the starting that's so hard.
That's the hardest part. Yeah. And we don't want to have that as a kickoff phrase, but we do think starting is the hardest part.
Starting is the hardest part. Yes.
Yeah.